Chapter 2036. The Six Hells law was similar to the reincarnation law. However, one was the strongest law, while the other was the king law. In terms of power, the difference was too great. The Six Hells law was a simplified version of the reincarnation law. 6 worlds enveloped Ji Tian, making him look like a demon god. "Watch me burn the 6 Hells law." Long Yang roared, and flames soared into the sky. He was like a flaming war god. A flaming spear appeared in his hand, and he charged towards Ji Tian. The spear stabbed out, and a terrifying spear light pierced towards Ji Tian, wanting to pierce through his 6 Hells law. 6 Hell divine fist. Ji Tian stepped forward and punched out with both fists. It was as if he was driving the 6 worlds. The 6 worlds turned into fist light and blasted towards Long Yang. Boom! The spear and fist light collided, and a violent explosion sounded. Long Yang's heavenly fire law could burn everything. It had the power of destruction, and it was incomparably terrifying. It was no weaker than the 6 Hells law. In the explosion, both of them retreated at the same time. But then, both of them rushed towards each other and fought again. Their combat strength was on par. A few years ago, the two of them fought for hundreds of moves before the victor was decided. This time, it was the same. In the blink of an eye, the two of them fought for dozens of moves, but it was still a draw. There's hope. The eyes of the Luo family's powerhouses lit up. If this continued, it was very likely that they would end up like Princess Yu Ning and Princess Luo Xian. In the past, they were afraid of encountering such a situation because they weren't a match for the Yu family. But now, they were looking forward to such a situation because they had Lu Ming. The Yu family's powerhouses were the opposite. This was extremely disadvantageous for the Yu family. The Yu family's powerhouses all had gloomy expressions. Ji Tian and Long Yang fought fiercely, and in the blink of an eye, they had exchanged dozens of moves. Boom! With a violent explosion, both of them retreated. "Ji Tian, I said that you won't be able to defeat me in a few years." Long Yang spoke. His voice was as loud as a bell. Terrifying flames rushed into the clouds. His eyes were bright as if he had vented the anger in his heart. "Hehe, Long Yang, you are really naive." At this time, Ji Tian smiled faintly, and his voice was filled with sarcasm. "What do you mean?" Long Yang's eyes narrowed. He didn't know why, but when he saw Ji Tian's smile, he had a bad feeling in his heart. Could it be that Ji Tian still hadn't used his full strength? "Then let me show you my true strength." Ji Tian sneered and took a step forward. Wang! A halo emanated from Ji Tian's body, encircling him like a god descending to the mortal world. "Light of law. You've cultivated the light of law." Long Yang's pupils rapidly shrank as he roared in disbelief. Boom! Boom! At this moment, the experts from the Luo family and the Yu family couldn't suppress the shock in their hearts. They stood up from their seats, and powerful auras began to emanate from their bodies. However, the feelings of the two families were completely different. "Ha ha ha, the light of the law, it's the light of the King Dao law. There's no suspense in this battle." The experts of the Yu family laughed heartily. They were all overjoyed. As for the Luo family, they were all in disbelief. In the end, they slumped back into their seats. It was as if all the strength in their bodies had disappeared without a trace. The light of law. Since Ji Tian had cultivated the light of law, there was no suspense in this battle. Long Yang was definitely not Ji Tian's opponent. They both had the king body, but the difference between having the light of law and not having the light of law was too great. If Long Yang was defeated, Lu Ming would naturally be defeated. "How could this be?" Luo Xian said helplessly. Originally, she seemed to have seen the dawn of victory. Because Lu Ming also had the king body, they had a high chance of winning this battle. But she never would have thought that Ji Tian actually cultivated out the light of law. It was extremely difficult to cultivate the light of law with the king body, but once it was cultivated, it would far surpass other king bodies. Ji Tian really cultivated the light of law. At this moment, Yu Ning's face was full of smiles. She was secretly glad that she didn't offend the Ji family because of Lu Ming. Not only did the Ji family have the commander-in-chief, but Ji Tian's talent was even more shocking. Although Lu Ming's strength wasn't bad, Compared to Ji Tian, it was like the difference between heaven and earth. At this moment, she was incomparably relaxed. The trace of regret she had for driving out Lu Ming disappeared without a trace. Lu Ming couldn't affect the overall situation. The Yu family will win for sure. The spectators sighed as well. It seemed that the Yu family would continue to rule the Yura kingdom. Boom. On the battle stage, Ji Tian displayed the light of law. His aura was even stronger as it pressed towards Long Yang. Long Yang, do you still want to fight? Ji Tian asked coldly, high and mighty. Fight. Long Yang gritted his teeth and charged towards Ji Tian with his flaming spear. You're overestimating yourself. Then I'll let you see the power of the light of law. I'll let you see the difference between not cultivating the light of law and cultivating the light of law. Ji Tian punched out, and the power of the light of law was added to his fist. Boom. This fist collided with Long Yang's spear. Buzz. Long Yang's long spear vibrated and buzzed. The destruction heavenly fire law on it trembled non-stop. In the next moment, Long Yang's destruction heavenly fire law was penetrated. The terrifying power caused Long Yang to retreat wildly. He retreated more than 10 steps before he could stabilize himself. Puff. Long Yang's body trembled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. There was a trace of shock in his eyes. He wasn't a match for Ji Tian at all. He was injured in a single move. Boom. Boom. Ji Tian punched out consecutively, and another 2 punches blasted out. Although Long Yang did his best to resist, he was no match at all and was completely suppressed. After 2 more punches, Long Yang spat out another mouthful of blood. I've lost. Long Yang shook his head, and his expression was desolate. His figure moved, and he rushed out of the battle stage. He knew that it was useless to continue fighting. He wasn't a match for Ji Tian, and he would only be humiliating himself. We've lost again. The Luo family head and the other experts of the Luo family sighed helplessly. They had lost again. For the next 10,000 years, the Yu family would continue to rule the Yura kingdom. They had lost 3 times in a row, and they were somewhat unwilling. If this continued, their Luo family would fall, and it would be even harder for them to compete with the Yu family. As for the Yu family, they were naturally ecstatic. Brother Luo, do you still want to continue? The Yu family head looked at the Luo family head with a smile. He was naturally happy. With the Yu family's victory, he would continue to rule the Yura kingdom. In his opinion, the Luo family only had Lu Ming left, and there was no need to continue. No matter how strong Lu Ming was, could he fight against Ji Tian? Your Majesty, according to the rules, this competition will continue until one side is completely defeated. Ji Tian cupped his fists at the Yu family head. Chapter 2037. Haha, look at me being muddle-headed. That's true. The competition must continue. Continue. The patriarch of the Yu family laughed. Lu Ming also smiled. Even if the other party wanted to end the competition early, he wouldn't agree. Next, the competition continued. However, no one had the energy to pay attention to it. They all thought that the result was already decided. Continuing the competition was just a formality according to the rules. If Lu Ming is smart, he will deliberately rush down the stage to admit defeat. Otherwise, if he meets Ji Tian later, he won't have a chance. If I were Lu Ming, I would definitely do the same. Many people seemed to have guessed the result. In a while, Lu Ming would definitely rush down the stage and admit defeat. The doyen continued to draw numbers. Lu Ming against a skinny youth from the Yu family. The 2 of them stepped on the stage. Brat, let me deal with you. The skinny youth was smug. He also thought that Lu Ming would take the initiative to rush down the stage and admit defeat. Otherwise, if he met Ji Tian in the next round, wouldn't Lu Ming be finished? Therefore, he boldly rushed toward Lu Ming and pounced toward Lu Ming. Then, he saw a fist rapidly enlarging in front of his eyes. Following that, it heavily bombarded the bridge of his nose. Catcher! The skinny youth's nose was broken. With a miserable scream, his body flew out a few hundred meters and fell on the stage. Many people were stunned. They originally thought that Lu Ming would take the initiative to rush down the stage and admit defeat. They didn't expect that Lu Ming would directly make a move. Maybe he wants to save face and wants to win a round before admitting defeat. If his luck is bad and he meets Ji Tian in the next round, he will regret it. Some people sneered. Sure. Lu Ming's figure moved and rushed to the skinny youth's side. With a kick, he directly kicked the skinny youth off the stage. Lu Ming won this round. However, the people from the Luo family only shook their heads. Whether he won or not, the final result wouldn't change. Like this, the Luo family only had Lu Ming left. As for the Yu family, they only had 6 people left. The competition continued. But now, they only needed to draw a number from the Yu family. Whoever drew a number would fight with Lu Ming. Yu family, number 47. A senior elder announced. A young woman from the Yu family stepped onto the stage. Many people began to guess again, guessing whether Lu Ming would admit defeat in this round, because the longer it went on, the higher the probability of him encountering Ji Tian. Many people thought that Lu Ming wanted to win the match and then admit defeat to save some face. However, Lu Ming directly attacked and blasted the young woman off the battle stage in 2 moves. Still not admitting defeat. You really want to save face? Haha, let's see how he regrets it when we meet Ji Tian later. Some people sneered. The competition continued, and the next person was still not Ji Tian. Naturally, he was easily defeated by Lu Ming. It was unknown if it was luck, but the next few people weren't Ji Tian. They were all defeated by Lu Ming. On the Yu family's side, there were only 2 people left. They were Ji Tian and Ji Peng. Lu Ming still hasn't admitted defeat. Could it be that he really wants to fight with Ji Tian? At this point, some people had already changed their minds. Because Lu Ming didn't admit defeat, if this continued, he would definitely meet Ji Tian. How is this possible? If he fights with Ji Tian, he won't even have the chance to escape. He will definitely be killed. I don't know what he is thinking. He is really crazy. Everyone was discussing. As for Ji Peng, his expression turned ugly. If Lu Ming didn't admit defeat, he wouldn't meet him in the next round, right? He kept praying in his heart that Lu Ming would meet Ji Tian in the next round. Unfortunately, things didn't go as he wished. Yu family, number 9, Ji Peng, come out. The senior elder took out a number and shouted. Damn it. Ji Peng roared in his heart. Why is it him? Why can't Lu Ming meet Ji Tian? Many people were speechless. Lu Ming's luck was too good. It was strange that he couldn't meet Ji Tian. Lu Ming stepped onto the stage, looked at Ji Peng, smiled faintly, and said, come down. Ji Peng's face was gloomy as he stepped onto the stage. He looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, I advise you to admit defeat. Otherwise, if you meet my big brother in the next round, you will die miserably. The current Ji Peng's heart was complicated. He naturally hoped that Lu Ming would meet Ji Tian and be killed by Ji Tian. However, if Lu Ming continued to fight, he would be miserable. You are actually thinking for me? I don't understand. Back then, I beat you up so badly. Lu Ming deliberately revealed a surprised expression. Ji Peng gritted his teeth and roared in his heart. If it wasn't for this round, would I be thinking for you? But now, he could only go against his heart and say, let bygones be bygones. I think you are still a talent. Quickly admit defeat. Admit defeat. Forget it. My plan is to beat you up, and then beat your elder brother up. Lu Ming smiled. He even extended his fist and gestured with it. Lunatic. Ji Peng roared, then suddenly turned around and rushed down the stage. However, Lu Ming's figure flashed and he caught up with him. He slapped his palm down and lightning flashed. It was like a huge net that shrouded Ji Peng. Ji Peng tried his best to resist, but when the lightning fell, all of his attacks collapsed. Buzz buzz, Ji Peng's body was covered in lightning, which looked like small black snakes swimming around. Slap. Lu Ming then slapped down on Ji Peng's face. Ji Peng screamed and spat out blood mixed with teeth. More lightning covered Ji Peng's body. His hair stood straight up and white smoke came out of his 7 orifices as if he was electrocuted. It was extremely miserable. In the stands, Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and Ji Tian's father, the commander-in-chief, had ugly expressions. In their view, Lu Ming humiliated Ji Peng like this, which was equivalent to slapping their faces. How did he treat Ji Peng? Wait a moment, I will return it 10 times. Ji Tian gritted his teeth. Lu Ming grabbed Ji Peng's neck and walked to the edge of the stage step by step. Then, he threw Ji Peng down the stage. He casually stretched out a finger, pointed at Ji Tian, hooked his finger, and said, "Come, King Physique." Swish. Ji Tian couldn't bear it anymore and rushed up the stage. Anyway, he was the only one left from the Yu family. There was no need to draw a number. This Lu Ming really wants to fight with Ji Tian. Where did he get the courage? It's strange. Could it be that Lu Ming still has a trump card? This is a fair battle. He is not allowed to use his emperor weapon. He doesn't have a king body. How can he have a trump card? Many people were discussing. They couldn't guess what Lu Ming was planning. With Ji Tian's combat strength, Lu Ming would definitely die if he went against Ji Tian. Why didn't he admit defeat earlier? Why did he persist until now? Could it be that he wanted to humiliate Ji Peng? But there was no need to put his life on the line. Chapter 2038. Ji Tian's eyes were extremely cold. 6 worlds appeared and a terrifying aura charged toward Lu Ming continuously like a gale. Now, you won't have the chance to admit defeat, Ji Tian said coldly. Who said I'm going to admit defeat? How ridiculous. I didn't say I was going to admit defeat from the beginning. Can you stop making wild guesses? Lu Ming curled his lips. That's great. I'll make you kneel on the battle stage and beg for mercy, Ji Tian said coldly. He stepped forward, and the 6 worlds moved with him. He didn't seem to be fast, but in fact, he was extremely fast. In an instant, he arrived in front of Lu Ming. Boom. With a punch, one of the blood prison worlds blasted out with Ji Tian's fist. It was like a sea of blood enveloping Lu Ming. The smell of blood filled the air. Sizzle. Lu Ming's fist sizzled, and a black lightning cauldron spread out. He also punched out. Boom. The 2 fists collided, and the sky was like a huge drum, shaking violently. Circles of lightning and a sea of blood burst out in all directions. A figure swayed, stepping on the battle stage and retreating. The person who retreated was actually Ji Tian. The scene suddenly quieted down. Countless people were dumbfounded, and some looked at the battle stage in disbelief. Lu Ming actually pushed Ji Tian back in a head-on confrontation. How was this possible? What was going on? Lu Ming's cultivation was obviously at the peak of the absolute saint realm, which was weaker than Ji Tian. Moreover, he didn't have a king body. How could he push Ji Tian back? This was simply unbelievable. Ji Tian, don't be careless. Use more strength. At this moment, the Yu family head's voice resounded throughout the entire place. He meant that Ji Tian was too careless and didn't use his full strength. That was why he was pushed back by Lu Ming. Many people nodded. That should be the case. Otherwise, how could Lu Ming push Ji Tian back? However, Ji Tian's eyes were incomparably dignified, and his heart was in turmoil. Others thought that he was careless, but only he knew how strong Lu Ming's punch was. His saint energy was endless and was not any weaker than his. Furthermore, the power of Lu Ming's spiritual body was even more terrifying. He had indeed not used his full strength just now, but Lu Ming's strength had indeed shaken him. 6 hell demonic fists. Ji Tian let out a long howl. The 6 worlds burst forth with different auras, transforming into a terrifying fist force that soared towards Lu Ming in an overwhelming manner. His aura was indeed much stronger than before. Good timing. Lu Ming didn't retreat at all. He took a step forward and punched out again. Every punch was filled with lightning, wrapping around Lu Ming's fists. His fists were like lightning. Bang! Bang! The 2 of them fought speed with speed. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged dozens of blows. Qi energy shot out and rumbled continuously. However, Lu Ming did not show the slightest sign of weakness. Instead, he vaguely had the upper hand. This time, everyone was stunned. Even the people from the Yu and Luo families were shocked. Even the patriarchs of the two families and some true emperors were extremely shocked. He didn't have a king body and his cultivation was one level lower. However, he could actually fight against Ji Tian. This kind of combat strength was unheard of even for them. So strong. Luo Xian, Wu Shi, and the others were dumbfounded at first. However, their eyes soon lit up. They knew that Lu Ming had a king body and could control the King Dao law. Now that he could fight against Ji Tian without using the King Dao law, he could really win if he used the King Dao law. They originally thought that there was no hope, but now they saw a glimmer of hope. Yu Ning's expression was extremely ugly. She was unhappy because Lu Ming was one of her people at the beginning. However, he was kicked out by her later on. It's useless no matter how strong he is. What I want is the final victory. Ji Tian still hasn't used the light of law. He will definitely win. I chose Ji Tian. I'm right. Yu Ning warned herself in her heart. Boom. Lu Ming and Ji Tian exchanged another blow. Both of them retreated. The difference was that Lu Ming retreated 5 steps while Ji Tian retreated 7 steps. Ji Tian's face was especially gloomy. He had a king body, but he actually fought with Lu Ming like this. Today, he had lost a lot of face. Today, he must use Lu Ming's blood to wash away his shame. Lu Ming, your combat strength is indeed beyond my expectations. However, you will still lose, shouted Ji Tian. The light of the heavenly laws spread out and surrounded him, making his aura even stronger. Boom. With the support of the light of law, Ji Tian's momentum increased greatly. He punched out and 6 worlds moved with his fist, pressing down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming swung his fist, colliding with Ji Tian's attack once again. Bang! Lu Ming seemed to be hit by a terrifying force, his figure drifting back. What a pity! The Luo family's experts sighed. If Ji Tian did not cultivate the light of law, their Luo family's chances of winning this battle were very high. However, Ji Tian cultivated the light of law. Unless the Son of Heaven appeared, or someone from the younger generation stepped into the quasi-emperor realm, no one would be Ji Tian's opponent. However, how many Son of Heaven were there in the entire land of infinite demons? There were no quasi-emperors below the age of 50 in their Yura kingdom. The others also shook their heads slightly, thinking that Lu Ming would lose for sure. Kneel down. Ji Tian gained the upper hand in one move. His momentum was like a rainbow as he continued to press down on Lu Ming. He wanted to defeat Lu Ming in one go. The light of law is indeed powerful. Lu Ming curled his lips, his expression was still very calm. At this moment, he raised his hand and pointed out a finger. There was no black lightning in this finger. Instead, it was replaced by endless runes. Roar. The endless runes formed a true dragon. The true dragon roared and pounced toward Ji Tian. Boom. The true dragon's dragon claw tore apart Ji Tian's fist force. The dense runes spread toward Ji Tian. Ji Tian roared in shock. The 6 worlds kept shaking. All kinds of auras erupted, blocking the endless runes. Monarch Dao Law, you have the monarch body. Ji Tian's roar resounded throughout the entire place. Silence. The scene fell into dead silence. Everyone was dumbfounded and in disbelief. Monarch body, Lu Ming actually has the monarch body? Then why did he use the demonic thunder law just now? One person controlled 2 types of laws. How was that possible? He was not a martial emperor. Many people found that their brains were a little short-circuited. However, looking at the dense runes surrounding Lu Ming's body, they clearly realized that Lu Ming really controlled the monarch Dao law and really had the monarch body. The array Dao law of the monarch Dao law, haha. The Luo family head suddenly laughed loudly. Everything that happened today was really beyond his expectations. Lu Ming actually had the monarch body. Just now, he was already so strong without using the monarch Dao law. Now that he used the monarch Dao law, how strong would he be? Xian, you already knew that Lu Ming has the monarch body, right? The Lu family head looked at Luo Xian. Luo Xian nodded and said, although I already knew that he has the monarch body, I didn't know that his combat strength is so strong. Chapter 2039. Crack. Yu Ning crushed the white jade golden cup in her hand, her eyes cold. Lu Ming was actually an imperial body. She did not expect this at all. If she knew that Lu Ming was an imperial body and had such strong combat strength, she would have thought twice. Ji Tian will definitely win, Yu Ning roared in her heart, admonishing herself. However, her clenched fists showed how nervous she was. At this moment, Ji Peng had woken up and was also shocked. King body, there's nothing great about it, Lu Ming said lightly. Lu Ming, don't think that you can defeat me just because you have mastered the law of kings. Without the law of light, everything is in vain. Kill. Ji Tian roared and attacked Lu Ming with all his might. The law of 6 hells, the law of light, and the divine arts were all activated to the extreme by Ji Tian. Let's end this. Lu Ming whispered and pointed out another finger. Runes filled the air and another true dragon was formed, pouncing towards Ji Tian. This true dragon contained 3 scrolls of the 9 scrolls of Array Dao. Lu Ming only used the illusory spirit scroll and the seal scroll in the previous attack. Lu Ming used the destruction scroll, illusory spirit scroll, and seal scroll in this attack. The power of this attack was close to that of the chaotic calamity finger. Boom! When the true dragon collided with Ji Tian, a terrifying force tore Ji Tian's fist radiance apart. Endless runes rushed towards Ji Tian. Ji Tian's body shook violently and he was thrown back. He vomited blood in the air. He tried his best to resist the seal of the runes. However, Lu Ming was already close to him. Then, he pointed out another finger. This time, it was not a true dragon but a giant elephant. The giant elephant's body was like a small mountain. Its legs were like heavenly pillars as it stomped towards Ji Tian. Bam! An elephant leg stepped on Ji Tian's face. Ji Tian was instantly stunned. His body was like a huge rock, heavily smashing into the fighting ring, causing the entire fighting ring to rumble. Ji Tian was lying on the fighting ring, his body twitching and blood gushing out of his mouth. Ji Tian was defeated, beaten into a dead dog. Everyone at the scene widened their eyes, unable to react for a moment. Ji Tian used to be known as the #1 expert in the Yura kingdom. Now that he had cultivated the light of law, he was even more powerful. However, such strength had been defeated by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's cultivation was even lower. His cultivation was even lower, and he had yet to cultivate the light of law, yet he was able to defeat Ji Tian. It was truly inconceivable. Lu Ming stepped out, coming to Ji Tian's side. Although Ji Tian was seriously injured, he still glared at Lu Ming fiercely, wishing he could tear Lu Ming into pieces. What are you looking at? I've already said that there's nothing great about a king body, and there's nothing great about the light of law. Lu Ming sneered, revealing a faint disdain. Then, he kicked Ji Tian's face, sending him flying off the fighting ring. Lu Ming did not kill Ji Tian. After all, this was the Yura kingdom, and Ji Tian's father and many experts of the Yu family were present. If Lu Ming killed Ji Tian, they would not let him go. Now that Tian Di's physical body did not have enough energy, and his goal was to go to the ancient devil nation, there was no need to cause more trouble. Good, good. Ha ha ha. The head of the Luo family and many experts of the Luo family stood up, laughing heartily. The Luo family had won. For the next 10,000 years, the Luo family would be in charge of the Yura kingdom. Previously, when Ji Tian had displayed the light of law, they had thought that the Luo family would lose for sure. They were already in despair, and they had planned to wait for another 10,000 years before making a comeback. However, they had never expected that Lu Ming would suddenly erupt. First, he displayed a powerful strength, then he displayed the King Dao law, defeating Ji Tian in one fell swoop. How could they not be happy with such an unexpected result? How could they not laugh heartily? Luo Xian, Wu Shi, and the others were also full of smiles. On the other hand, the people of the Yu family were the complete opposite. They had thought that they would win, but in the end, they had lost in the hands of a single person. That kid. Some experts of the Yu family, as well as Ji Tian's father, looked coldly at Lu Ming. It was all because of Lu Ming that they had lost. Where did this kid come from? I have never heard of such a person before. Someone said unwillingly. Everyone fell silent. Bang! Princess Yuning's jade-like hands were as white as jade. At this moment, the veins on her jade-like hands were bulging. She had even crushed the handle of her chair. She was furious. Lu Ming was originally her guest, but she had personally chased him out of the princess residence. Sister Yuning, I really have to thank you. At this moment, Luo Xian looked at Yuning, and his crisp voice rang out. Many people were stunned, not knowing what Luo Xian meant. Luo Xian, shut up. Yuning shouted. Why? Are you afraid that I will lose face if I say it? But I have to say it. The corners of Luo Xian's lips curled up slightly. I heard that Lu Ming used to be Sister Yuning's guest. However, he was personally chased out of the eldest princess mansion. Therefore, he came to seek refuge with me. What? At the scene, everyone who didn't know what was going on was stunned. Lu Ming was originally the princess's guest, but he had been chased out of the princess residence by the princess. Only then did Lu Ming seek refuge with the little princess. Yuning, this was tantamount to giving up the victory on a silver platter. If Lu Ming was in the princess residence, there would be no suspense in this competition. The Yu family would definitely win. Yuning's face turned even uglier. As for the Yu family, their faces also turned ugly. There was actually such a thing. Moreover, I heard that it was because Lu Ming offended the Ji family. In order to stabilize the Ji family, you chased Lu Ming out of the princess residence. Perhaps in your eyes, the Ji family, or Ji Tian, is more important than Lu Ming. Am I right, Sister Yuning? Luo Xian continued to speak, revealing her two canine teeth. She was full of cunning. Yuning's expression made her very happy. So that's how it was. Everyone was enlightened. It turned out that Lu Ming had offended the Ji family. In order to stabilize the Ji family, the princess had chased Lu Ming out. After all, at that time, the princess needed Ji Tian's help to win the competition. At that time, in the eyes of the princess, Ji Tian's value was far above Lu Ming's. But what was the truth? It was Yuning who had personally given the victory to the Luo family. As for Ji Tian, who she valued, he had been beaten to a pulp by Lu Ming. How ironic was this? The Yu family's experts, Ji Tian's father, and Ji Tian's uncle all had ugly expressions. Sister Yuning, I wonder what you are thinking now? Do you feel any regret? Luo Xian's voice rang out again. Enough! Yuning shouted. She suddenly stood up and coldly glanced at Lu Ming. Then, she soared into the sky. This caused Luo Xian to laugh. Chapter 2040. The Luo family is the winner of this competition. For the next 10,000 years, the Luo family will rule over the Yura kingdom. Following that, the elder of the Yura kingdom announced. The Yu family head's face was extremely gloomy. He was extremely unwilling. However, this was a tradition that had been passed down for countless years in the Yura kingdom. Even if he did not dare to do so, he still had to hand over the throne. Unless his Yu family's strength was enough to suppress the other factions in the Yura kingdom, he could break this tradition. However, it was clear that the Yu family was unable to do so. In the end, he could only hand over the scepter that represented the king. After that, Lu Ming did not have anything to do with it. He sat on the spectator stand and watched calmly. Next, the Luo family head received the scepter. After that, a series of ceremonies were held, and he began to rule over the Yura kingdom. After the ceremony, there was a banquet. When everything was over, it was already the next day. After a few days, Luo Xian brought a pile of treasures, saying that it was a reward for Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not hesitate to accept it. The following days were peaceful again. Lu Ming stayed in the little princess residence and cultivated quietly. However, Luo Xian would often look for Lu Ming to spar with him. Of course, Luo Xian would return in defeat every time. Time passed, and 1.5 months passed. On this day, Luo Xian found Lu Ming and informed him that they were going to the ancient devil nation. In half a month, the king of the ancient devil nation would hold a banquet to celebrate his passing of the great calamity and being able to live for another 300,000 years. At that time, all the countries that were subordinate to the ancient devil nation would send people to congratulate him. The Yura kingdom was a subordinate of the ancient devil nation. Are we finally going to the ancient devil nation? Lu Ming muttered. This way, he would be one step closer to the ancient devil coffin. Yu Ning and the others have already gone to the ancient devil nation a few days ago, Luo Xian said. Lu Ming nodded and followed Luo Xian to a teleportation array. The Luo family head personally led a group of a few hundred people. There were also some young geniuses as they stepped into the teleportation array. First, they arrived at the citadel outside the capital of the ancient devil nation. Then, they flew towards the capital. Ancient Devil Nation, one of the 2 super devil nations in the land of 10,000 devils. It was truly a giant. Its capital was exceptionally majestic. It was not inferior to the celestial city in the primordial mountains. In the land of myriad devils, there were a total of 2 super devil nations and 10 high-grade devil nations. Naturally, they were divided into 2 camps. The 2 super devil nations were enemies of each other. Each of the super devil nations ruled over a large number of low-level and mid-level devil nations. There were also 5 high-grade devil kingdoms under their control. The Yura kingdom was one of the 5 high-grade devil kingdoms under the ancient devil kingdom. Naturally, it was highly valued. When they arrived, someone received them and arranged accommodations for them. In the blink of an eye, they had been in the capital of the ancient devil nation for 3 days. Lu Ming, the little prince of the Blue Demon King's residence, has set up a banquet today and invited the prodigies of various countries. Shall we go and take a look? Luo Xian found Lu Ming and asked. The little prince of the Blue Demon King's residence. Lu Ming was slightly taken aback. The ancient devil nation is one of the 2 super devil nations in the land of myriad devils. It rules over countless smaller countries. Many of the smaller countries are inextricably linked to some of the influential families in the ancient devil nation. The Blue Demon King's residence is a powerful force in the ancient devil nation. Our Luo family has a good relationship with the Blue Demon King's residence. The little prince of the Azure Demon Nation invited the prodigies of various countries to a banquet to strengthen our relationship. Luo Xian explained. Lu Ming nodded. As long as there were benefits to be gained, there would naturally be benefits to be gained. Moreover, every time the ancient devil nation overcomes a great calamity and holds a banquet, the young prodigies of various countries will compete with each other. Those who perform well will be rewarded handsomely. Therefore, it's normal for the prodigies of various countries to meet and understand each other's strength, Luo Xian added. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The ancient devil nation's lord would allow the prodigies of various countries to compete with each other. This was an opportunity for Lu Ming. If he performed well and caught the attention of the ancient devil nation's lord, he might be one step closer to borrowing the ancient devil coffin. All right, let's go take a look. Lu Ming nodded. Lu Ming and Luo Xian immediately met up with the other prodigies of the Yura kingdom, such as Wu Shi and the others, and headed towards the Blue Demon King's residence. Of course, Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the others did not follow them. Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the others had arrived at the ancient devil nation's capital earlier than them. They had different connections. Soon, they arrived at a vast mansion. Someone received them and led them to a spacious courtyard. There were many tables and chairs in the courtyard. At this moment, many people had already arrived. They were all from the younger generation. Greetings, Princess Luo Xian. When Luo Xian arrived, many young men bowed to her. The Yura kingdom was a high-tier devil nation. Moreover, it was one of the top 5 high-tier devil nations under the ancient devil nation. These young men were from middle-tier or low-tier devil nations. Their statuses were far lower than Luo Xian's. Naturally, they had to bow to her when they saw her. Luo Xian smiled and nodded. After greeting everyone, she sat down at a table. Lu Ming, sit here. Princess Luo Xian smiled and pointed to a stool beside her. Lu Ming did not stand on ceremony and sat down beside Luo Xian. As for Wu Shi and the others, they sat behind Luo Xian and Lu Ming. Many young men looked at Lu Ming curiously. Who was this person that could sit beside Princess Luo Xian? Ha ha ha, Luo Xian, long time no see. A hearty laugh sounded as a purple-robed young man strode over. He was quite handsome and had an extraordinary aura. There were a few young men behind him. "Greetings, little prince." Seeing this young man, the young men quickly stood up and bowed. Lu Ming and Luo Xian also stood up and cupped their fists. This young man was the little prince of the Blue Demon King's residence. The Blue Demon King was an extremely terrifying existence. It was said that he was of the same generation as the ancient Devil Nation's ruler. The two of them had an extraordinary relationship. Therefore, the Blue Demon King had a lot of power in the ancient Devil Nation. As the grandson of the Blue Demon King, the little prince's status was naturally noble. Naturally, he was also a terrifying genius. "Everyone, there's no need for formalities. Please take a seat." The little prince waved his hand and looked at Luo Xian. He smiled and said, "Princess Luo Xian, I haven't seen you for a few years. Your cultivation has become even more profound. If this continues, I'm afraid I won't be your match in a few years. You're too polite, little prince. Who in the ancient Devil Nation doesn't know about your talent? How can Luo Xian be your match?" Luo Xian said humbly. "And this is..." The little prince looked at Lu Ming. He was naturally curious about the fact that he could sit with Luo Xian. However, when he looked at Lu Ming carefully, his face darkened. Lu Ming frowned slightly. Just a moment ago, he felt a murderous intent from the other party. Chapter 2041. His name is Lu Ming. Luo Xian introduced Lu Ming. "Princess Luo Xian, what's your relationship with this person?" The young prince asked. "He's my guest elder." "Young prince, do you know Lu Ming?" Luo Xian also felt that something was amiss and asked. "So he's just a guest elder. Princess Luo Xian, can you hand him over to me?" The young prince's eyes flickered and the murderous intent in his eyes intensified. "Young prince, he's my guest elder. I have to be responsible for him. Why do you want me to hand him over to you?" Luo Xian frowned and asked. The other young men also seemed to feel that something was wrong. They all held their breaths and didn't even dare to breathe loudly. "Kill," the young prince said coldly. He didn't hide his murderous intent and said, "This person must die." "Young prince, is there a misunderstanding here?" Luo Xian asked. She secretly sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming and asked, "Lu Ming, when did you offend Kang Yang?" Kang Yang was the young prince's name. "This is the first time I've seen him." Lu Ming frowned and sent a voice transmission to Princess Luo Xian. He was also confused. He had never seen Kang Yang before. He really didn't understand why Kang Yang wanted to kill him as soon as he saw him. Misunderstanding? All the direct descendants of the Blue Demon King's residence have a kind of mark on them. When they are killed, this mark will attach to the person who killed them. I felt the mark of the Blue Demon King's residence on him. Is this a misunderstanding? Kang Yang said coldly. Everyone's heart skipped a beat and understood. Lu Ming had killed a direct descendant of the Blue Demon King's residence. Kang Yang had sensed the mark on him. No wonder Kang Yang wanted to kill Lu Ming the moment he saw him. Lu Ming raised his eyebrows. He suddenly recalled that not long after he had arrived in the land of myriad devils, he had been cultivating in a certain place when a group of people had tried to steal the devil origin fruit. In the end, they had all been killed by him. One of the young men had shouted that he was from the ancient devil kingdom. Could it be that he was a direct descendant of the Blue Demon King's residence? This was too much of a coincidence. Furthermore, he had encountered such a mark in the Blue Demon King's residence before. The Thousand Slayer Manor was a terrifying assassin organization. As long as you killed someone from the Thousand Slayer Manor, there would be a slaughter mark on your body. Back then, Lu Ming had even asked the palace master of the Phoenix Palace to remove it. The mark on the Blue Demon King mansion was very similar to the mark on the Thousand Slayer mansion. Luo Xian also frowned and said, "Little prince, could there be a mistake somewhere?" "Definitely not. A few months ago, a cousin of mine was training outside and was killed by someone. It should be this person who killed him." "Luo Xian, this person is just a guest elder of yours. You don't have to care about this matter," Kang Yang said and waved his hand. Swoosh. A young man rushed out from behind Kang Yang. A sword light bloomed and attacked Lu Ming. The sword light was cold. It was going to slice Lu Ming's throat. Adjudication. Luo Xian said softly and struck out with the power of adjudication, destroying the sword light. Princess Luo Xian, are you going to protect this person? Do you think it's worth it to fall out with the Blue Demon King mansion for a guest elder? Kang Yang's face darkened as he said in a threatening tone. A few months ago, I did kill someone. However, that person wanted to snatch a treasure and attacked me without any explanation. How could I not retaliate? At that moment, Lu Ming spoke. I see. Little prince, in the land of all demons, no matter who it is, it's normal to be killed while training outside and fighting for treasures. In the land of all demons, strength is everything. If you're weaker than others, you'll be a laughingstock if you take revenge now. Luo Xian did not back down and said coldly. In the land of all demons, the strong preyed on the weak. No matter who it was, they had to be prepared to be killed while training outside. This was the rule of the land of all demons. My cousin has several quasi-emperors by his side. How many quasi-emperors can he deal with? He probably used some despicable method to kill my cousin. How about this? Let him fight with me. If he can last 10 moves without being defeated, I'll acknowledge his strength. Kang Yang said coldly. In his opinion, Lu Ming was just a guest elder of Luo Xian. How strong could he be? Some of the youths behind Kang Yang sneered. Kang Yang was one of the top geniuses in the ancient devil nation. Not only did he have a king body, but his cultivation had also reached the great circle of the absolute saint realm. How could Lu Ming last 10 moves against Kang Yang? He would probably be killed by Kang Yang as soon as they fought. This was Kang Yang's goal. As long as he fought with Lu Ming, he would be able to kill Lu Ming legitimately. Luo Xian's eyes flashed. Although Kang Yang was strong, Lu Ming could even defeat Ji Tian. He was definitely not weaker than Kang Yang. Wouldn't it be easy for him to last 10 moves? Alright, I agree. Lu Ming stepped forward and said indifferently. He actually agreed. It seems like this kid doesn't know how strong Kang Yang is. Many people had the same thought in their minds. However, some of them were just waiting to watch the show. This kid is really courting death. Some of the youths behind Kang Yang smiled playfully. Kang Yang's eyes flashed coldly. Princess Luo Xian, since he has agreed, please don't interfere. I won't interfere. I hope the young prince will keep his word. After saying that, Luo Xian returned to the table. Keep my word. This girl, does she think that this kid can take 10 moves from me? Where did she get that confidence from? The young prince sneered. Then, he looked at Lu Ming with even colder killing intent. Anyone who dared to kill someone from the Blue Demon King's residence would die. The young prince wanted to make an example of him in front of the people from the small nations so that they would be more afraid of him. Let's fight in the sky. Lu Ming said. There's no need to fight in the sky to deal with you. One move is enough. Kang Yang sneered and pointed with his finger. Whoosh. The finger was like a long spear that pierced through the void and made a terrible whistling sound. The finger was highly condensed. However, Lu Ming didn't even look at it. He pointed with his finger and runes shone on his finger. Bang! When the two fingers collided, an explosion sounded out. The terrifying energy caused many tables and chairs to flip over. Many people retreated in fear, avoiding the energy that was scattered in all directions. On the other hand, Kang Yang's figure was forced back 2 steps, falling into a disadvantageous position. The law of array Dao. You have a king body, Kang Yang roared. So it's the law of penetration. Lu Ming's heart moved. He was familiar with this law. Luo Pokong of the De Luo Heaven sect also mastered this law, but he had been killed by him. I've said that we'll fight in the sky. Lu Ming said lightly. Kang Yang's face became gloomy and his killing intent was extremely cold. Just now, he was confident that he could kill Lu Ming in one move without the need to fight in the sky. However, the reality was a slap to his face. Let's fight in the sky. Chapter 2042. Kill. Kang Yang attacked Lu Ming as soon as he was in the air. His fingers were like a spear as he attacked continuously. With the help of the law of penetration, his attacks were powerful and could penetrate everything. Beams of spear gleams pierced toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled and pointed continuously. Countless runes spread and condensed into many lightning birds. They pounced on the spear gleams at an astonishing speed and blocked them. He's so powerful. He also has a king body. No wonder he can sit side by side with Princess Luo Xian. Some of the geniuses from small countries exclaimed. 2 moves. In the sky, Lu Ming spoke calmly. Kill. Kang Yang attacked for the 3rd time. His cultivation of the great sage realm was fully unleashed. An even more powerful finger radiance shot toward Lu Ming. Kang Yang's attack style was similar to Luo Pokong's, but his super skills were different. However, Kang Yang's combat strength was much stronger than Luo Pokong's. The terrifying chi whizzed toward Lu Ming, but it was blocked by Lu Ming's finger. 3 moves. Lu Ming continued to speak calmly and nonchalantly. Die. Kang Yang's eyes became colder and colder. A halo was emitted from his body and circled around him. The law of light. Many people gasped. Kang Yang's combat strength was indeed terrifying. As the top genius of the ancient demonic nation, he was stronger than the other king bodies. It was said that no one in the ancient demonic nation was a match for Kang Yang except for the Son of Heaven. Kill. A long spear appeared in Kang Yang's hand. Together with the law of light, its power reached a shocking level. 3 scrolls as one. Lu Ming pointed his finger. A true dragon roared and charged toward Kang Yang. The true dragon contained the scroll of annihilation, the scroll of illusionary spirits, and the scroll of sealing. Boom. With a loud explosion, the long spear in Kang Yang's hand trembled unceasingly. His body trembled violently as he was pushed back by a terrifying force. Kang Yang was actually at a disadvantage. Below, other than the people from the Yura kingdom, everyone else was dumbfounded. Some people even rubbed their eyes, thinking that they were seeing things. Kang Yang suppressed the other king physiques and almost stood at the peak. If the Elysian child didn't appear, he was almost invincible. But now, he was being suppressed by Lu Ming. Who was this Lu Ming? How could a random person be so terrifying? They were speechless. Is that all you've got? You want to defeat me in 10 moves? What a joke. It's my turn now. Lu Ming said calmly and took a step forward. Countless runes soared into the sky and transformed into 9 dragons. This time, it was not a true dragon, but 9 dragons. The 9 dragons soared into the sky and charged toward Kang Yang. To be honest, Kang Yang was very strong. He was even stronger than Ji Tian. Kang Yang was almost at the peak of the absolute saint realm. His mastery of the laws had reached 99%. He was only 1 step away from becoming a quasi-emperor. But compared to Lu Ming, even if Lu Ming didn't use the law of chaos, he was still a little weaker. The 9 dragons pounced. Kang Yang's expression changed drastically. He unleashed all his strength and stabbed out with his spear. The 9 dragons roared and clawed out continuously, crushing Kang Yang's attack. The terrifying power of destruction and countless runes surged toward Kang Yang. Kang Yang was pushed back for 10,000 meters before he could stabilize himself. Puff. His body trembled and he spat out a mouthful of blood. You've lost. Lu Ming said calmly. His voice wasn't loud, but it was like a heavy blow to Kang Yang's body, causing him to spit out another mouthful of blood. Lu Ming's words were so sarcastic. Just a moment ago, Kang Yang was still arrogant and said that he would defeat Lu Ming in 10 moves. In fact, 10 moves was just a casual remark. In his opinion, 1 move was enough to defeat Lu Ming and even kill Lu Ming. But now, he was defeated by Lu Ming in less than 10 moves. Kill. Kang Yang roared. Boom. Boom. 2 figures rushed out from the depths of the palace. Their terrifying aura made everyone's expression change. They were 2 martial emperors. Kang Yang wanted to send martial emperors to kill Lu Ming. Kang Yang, you're going back on your words. Luo Xian rushed to the sky and came in front of Lu Ming, glaring at Kang Yang. Get out of the way. Kang Yang's expression was somewhat ferocious. Today, Lu Ming made him lose face in front of so many people from small countries. He wished he could cut Lu Ming into pieces. As for this, he had brought it on himself. But of course, he wouldn't think about it. Everything was Lu Ming's fault. How could it be his fault? Kang Yang, you sent martial emperors because you couldn't win. If this matter were to spread, I'm afraid it would tarnish your reputation. Even the reputation of the Blue Demon King's residence would be damaged. Luo Xian stood firmly in front of Lu Ming and continued, moreover, even if you must take action today, you'll have to do it over my dead body. Lu Ming is my guest. I can't watch him get killed. Kang Yang's expression turned even uglier. Luo Xian's words did make him hesitate. One was his reputation, and the other was Luo Xian's identity. Luo Xian was the princess of the Yura Kingdom. The Yura Kingdom wasn't an ordinary small country. It was one of the top 5 high-grade countries under the ancient Devil Nation. He was also very apprehensive. Kang Yang hesitated. Lu Ming, let's go. Luo Xian transmitted her voice to Lu Ming, then turned around and walked out of the Blue Demon King's residence. Wu Shi and the others quickly followed. Kang Yang's expression changed a few times, but he didn't give the order to take action. Lu Ming and the others left the Blue Demon King's residence and returned to their residence. I didn't expect that person to be from the Kang Yang residence. Lu Ming was also speechless. He came here with the intention of getting to know the ancient Devil Nation's royal family through Luo Xian's recommendation. He didn't expect to offend the Blue Demon King's residence's little prince. It seems like I can only wait for the ancient Devil Nation's king's banquet to find an opportunity when all the Sky Prides compete. Lu Ming thought to himself. Lu Ming, don't think too much. The Blue Demon King's residence isn't the only Sky Prides in the ancient Devil Nation's royal family. I'll introduce you to the others in a few days. Luo Xian comforted Lu Ming. Thank you. Lu Ming looked at Luo Xian and smiled. He was quite touched when Luo Xian stood in front of him unwaveringly. Luo Xian was a straightforward person. Compared to Yu Ning, she was much better. In the next few days, Luo Xian introduced a few members of the royal family to Lu Ming. Although they were talented, they were still lacking compared to the Kang Yang. There were a few times when Lu Ming tried to find out more about the ancient demonic coffin. However, the other party did not know much about the ancient demonic coffin. He only knew that it was the treasure of the ancient demonic nation and only the king could control it. Lu Ming frowned, his heart heavy. The ancient demonic coffin was so important that only the king could control it. Could he really borrow it for a month? Needless to say, the king of the ancient Devil Nation was an emperor. Chapter 2043. 10 days later, the king's banquet officially began. At the center of the ancient Devil Nation's capital, a majestic palace suddenly appeared in the sky. The palace shone brightly, and it could be seen from far away. The palace had 9 floors, and it looked like a divine palace. There was a jade staircase in each of the 4 directions of the palace, extending from the top of the palace to the bottom. The guests who went to congratulate the king climbed up the jade staircase to the 9th floor of the palace. Lu Ming and the people of the Yura Kingdom went up the jade staircase on the east side. What a majestic palace! Lu Ming was shocked. This 9-floor palace was too huge. It was 100,000 feet tall, and it pierced through the sky. Even the jade staircase was incomparably huge. A person on it was like an ant. There were people coming from this direction, climbing up the jade staircase to congratulate the king. The ancient Devil Nation was one of the 2 super Devil Nations in the land of infinite demons. Almost half of the Devil Nations came to congratulate the king, so the number of people was naturally shocking. Lu Ming and the others climbed up the jade staircase, and it took them half an hour to reach the 9th floor of the palace. The 9th floor of the palace was open air, and it was incomparably spacious. There were all kinds of sacred herbs and strange flowers everywhere, and their fragrance assailed the nostrils. This area was filled with tables and chairs. The Yura Kingdom was one of the 5 great Devil Nations. As soon as they arrived, they were led to the top. The location of this area was also very particular. The height was different, and the level was different. The lowest level was where the people of the low-tier devil nations sat today. The lower level was where the middle-tier devil nations sat today. Above them were where the 5 high-tier devil nations sat today. At the top were the experts of the ancient devil nation and the nobles. Brother Luo. Brother Luo. When Lu Ming and the others arrived, there were already some people there. When they saw the head of the Luo family, they greeted him. These people were the kings of the other high-tier devil nations, and they had prominent statuses. Now that the Luo family was in charge of the Yura kingdom, they naturally greeted the head of the Luo family. At the side, the head of the Yu family snorted coldly and led Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the others to find a seat. Following that, more and more people arrived, and the vast space was almost full. The king has arrived. A voice resounded throughout the entire place, causing everyone to fall silent. The monarch here was none other than the monarch of the ancient devil nation. A group of people flew through the air and landed at the highest point. The person in the lead was a burly old man. He wore a purple gold robe and had a smile on his face. Although he did not reveal any aura, he had a supreme dignity. Greetings to the ancient great emperor. Everyone bowed respectfully. Every ruler of the ancient devil kingdom was known as the ancient great emperor. Everyone, please have a seat. The ancient great emperor waved his hand and everyone took their seats. Lu Ming glanced around and discovered that there were many people beside the ancient great emperor. Some were old, and some were young. Many of their auras were powerful and incomparably terrifying. There was no doubt that there were great emperors among them. The Eternal Devil Nation definitely had more than one great emperor. Kang Yang. Lu Ming saw Kang Yang in the crowd behind the ancient great emperor. At this moment, Kang Yang also looked at the Yura kingdom. When he saw Lu Ming, a cold killing intent flashed in his eyes. Yang the person you are talking about is that kid. Beside the ancient great emperor, a skinny old man with snow-white hair asked Kang Yang through telepathy. This old man was Kang Yang's grandfather, the Blue Demon King. Grandfather, that's him. Kang Yang nodded. All right, I understand. Demon King Kang nodded and did not continue speaking. His face was calm, and no one could guess what he was thinking. The Sky Domain Devil Nation congratulates the ancient great emperor on overcoming the great calamity and achieving immortality. At this moment, the king of the Sky Domain Devil Nation stood up and congratulated the ancient great emperor. He also presented a congratulatory gift. The Yura kingdom congratulates the ancient great emperor on overcoming the great calamity and achieving immortality in the future. The head of the Luo family also presented a congratulatory gift. Following that, the kings of the various devil nations came forward to congratulate the ancient great emperor and presented their gifts. Starting from the 5 high-class devil nations, it was the low-class devil nation's turn. Thank you for coming today. Please take a seat. The ancient great emperor's voice was heard. Following that, maids served various delicacies and wine. Then, a pitilessly enchanting female demon came forward to perform the heavenly demon dance. The atmosphere became lively. Great Emperor, there are so many geniuses in the world today. Why don't we let the younger generation compete with each other to liven up the atmosphere? Someone suggested. Every time the ancient great emperor overcame a great calamity, this would happen. Some people were looking forward to it. Haha, I also want to see how outstanding the geniuses of this generation are. I heard that there is more than one son of heaven in this generation, and there are even more king physiques. The ancient great emperor said with a smile. That's right. This generation is indeed filled with geniuses, more so than any previous generation, the Blue Demon King said. Oh, in that case, I will also change the rewards this time. Those in the top 3 can make a request of me. If it is something that I can do, I will try my best to satisfy it. Those in the top 10 can also receive a reward. The ancient great emperor's voice spread in all directions. Many people's eyes lit up. Those in the top 3 could make a request of the great emperor. This was too tempting. Moreover, the rewards for those in the top 10 were definitely not trivial. The rewards this time were also beyond the past. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. Those in the top 3 could make a request of the ancient great emperor. If he was in the top 3, wouldn't he be able to borrow the eternal demonic coffin from the ancient Great Emperor? Since the Great Emperor said it himself, he shouldn't reject it. Moreover, it was only for a month. I must be in the top 3. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly. Although he didn't know how strong the Son of Heaven was, Lu Ming believed that as long as he used his full strength, it shouldn't be a problem for him to be in the top 3. Alright, then I will let the Blue Demon King host this time. The ancient Great Emperor smiled. He didn't need to host this matter personally. He could leave it to others. Thank you, Great Emperor. The Blue Demon King stood up and stepped into the air outside the palace. With a wave of his hand, a platform floated out. Then, the platform rapidly expanded into a 100-mile-wide battle platform. The height of the battle platform was slightly lower than the palace. Sitting on it, one could clearly see the situation on the battle platform. Young people who want to participate can sign up and leave their names. The Blue Demon King said, and then called a few people to register their names. Whoosh, whoosh. Immediately, young people flew up and signed up. There were too many people. In an instant, hundreds of people went up. Who do you think will be in the top 3 this time? Is there a need to ask? The 2 Sons of Heaven will definitely be in the top 3. That's right. The 2 Sons of Heaven will definitely be in the top 3. The key is who will get the other slot. Kang Yang and Liu Shu are both likely to get it. Chapter 2044. The registration process was quick. All they had to do was to register their names. Hence, it did not take long. Soon, Lu Ming, Luo Xian, and the rest also went to register. Stop right there. Suddenly, a cold voice was heard. A figure stood in front of Lu Ming. Kang Yang. Lu Ming frowned. What is Kang Yang trying to do? Lu Ming, you are not qualified to take part in the competition. Step down. Kang Yang looked down at Lu Ming from above. His eyes were cold and filled with killing intent. Many people looked over curiously, including the older generation cultivators in their seats. Kang Yang, what do you mean? How is Lu Ming not qualified to take part in the competition? If he is not qualified, then you are not qualified either. Don't forget that you were defeated by Lu Ming a few days ago. Luo Xian stepped forward and stared at Kang Yang. What? Kang Yang was defeated? Is that true? Is that the young man? It looks mediocre. Many people were shocked. They looked at Lu Ming in bewilderment. In the ancient Devil Nation and the other Devil Nations under its rule, Kang Yang was the most outstanding genius, except for the Son of Heaven. Almost no one could defeat him. How could this person defeat Kang Yang? What is his background? After all, the geniuses invited by Kang Yang were only a small part of the people present. Many people did not know about the battle between Lu Ming and Kang Yang. Those geniuses present were afraid of offending Kang Yang. When they returned, they did not spread the news. Therefore, not many people knew that Lu Ming had defeated Kang Yang. Now that Luo Xian said it, everyone was shocked. Many people even suspected that Luo Xian was telling the truth. Even many of the older generation looked at Lu Ming curiously. Being able to defeat Kang Yang was no small matter. Such a genius would have great achievements in the future. Naturally, he was worth paying attention to. Kang Yang's face was extremely dark. Luo Xian was not giving him any face at all. He had actually revealed the matter of his defeat in front of everyone. During this time, I sent people to investigate this person, but they didn't find any clues. They couldn't find out his origin at all. This person's origin is unknown, so he is not qualified to participate in the competition, Kang Yang shouted. The purpose of this competition is to congratulate the Great Emperor. As for the background of the participants, what does it matter? Luo Xian argued strongly. His origin is unknown. Who knows what he is plotting? Kang Yang sneered. Great Emperor, what should we do? Up above, the Blue Demon King asked the ancient Great Emperor for instructions. I have already handed this matter over to you. You have full authority to handle it. The ancient Great Emperor waved his hand. He had no interest in the conflict between the younger generation. From his height, he only had the mentality of watching a good show. Only the Son of Heaven would be worthy of his attention. Yes, Great Emperor. The Blue Demon King bowed and then moved, appearing above Lu Ming and the others. What's going on? The Blue Demon King said in a dignified manner. It's like this. Luo Xian took the initiative to explain the situation. The Great Emperor has just passed a great tribulation. This is a grand event that only happens once every 300,000 years. There cannot be any mistakes. You, withdraw. The Blue Demon King looked at Lu Ming and waved his hand. Lu Ming frowned. Luo Xian's face turned ugly. The Blue Demon King was not allowing Lu Ming to participate in the competition. A cold smile appeared on Kang Yang's face. Not far away, Yu Ning, Ji Tian, and the others also revealed gloating smiles. Your Highness, I did defeat Kang Yang, but you can't shield him because of this. Lu Ming said. His voice was very loud and spread in all directions. His meaning was clear. The Blue Demon King was deliberately making things difficult for him because of Kang Yang. Impudent. What kind of attitude is this? How dare you doubt this king? The Blue Demon King shouted. A terrifying aura spread out from his body. He stared at Lu Ming and said, Your origin is unknown. I am already merciful for not taking you down on the spot. How dare you speak so much? If you don't withdraw, don't blame this king for being impolite. The scene was silent. No one said anything. The Luo family head felt that the Blue Demon King had gone too far. He, the Blue Demon King, had great power in the ancient devil nation. It was not worthwhile for him to offend the Blue Demon King because of this matter. It was just that he could not participate in the competition. In his opinion, it was a small matter. However, this was a big matter for Lu Ming. It was related to the ancient devil coffin. But it was clear that the Blue Demon King would not give him this opportunity. The ancient Great Emperor looked on indifferently. Although he also felt that the Blue Demon King had gone too far, since he had let the Blue Demon King host, he would not say anything. Why aren't you withdrawing? The Azure Demon King bellowed again. His terrifying aura was like a tidal wave, pressing on Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body retreated continuously. He was under immense pressure. Lu Ming clenched his fists. He was extremely unwilling. But in the end, Lu Ming retreated. The Blue Demon King's strength was shocking. Even if he wasn't a great emperor, he was still a peak true emperor. It was impossible to fight him head-on. He had to think of another way. Kang Yang's lips curled into a cold smile. The reason why he did not let Lu Ming participate was to take revenge on Lu Ming. The second reason was that Lu Ming's strength was too shocking. If Lu Ming participated, he would have no hope of getting into the top 3. The registration continued. It took half a day for the registration to end. After the registration, the competition began. It was very intense. However, all of this had nothing to do with Lu Ming. He sat in his seat, drinking while thinking about his next step. How could he borrow the ancient devil coffin for a month? For martial experts, even those who had reached the Sage Realm, it was normal for them to sit in the coffin for a few months. Therefore, the competition continued. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. After a few days of competition, most of the people were eliminated. Only a few dozen people were left. These dozens of people were all extremely talented, and many of them even had king bodies. The land of myriad demons is indeed a warlike place. There is endless killing. The overall level of the prodigies is stronger than that of Yuan Mountain. Towards the end, Lu Ming also perked up and observed. He found that the number of geniuses in the land of myriad demons was about the same as that of Yuan Mountain, but the quality was higher. For example, the average cultivation of the geniuses in the land of myriad demons was higher than that of Yuan Mountain. Many of them had reached the absolute saint realm. There were even some who had reached the peak of the absolute saint realm. For example, Luo Xian had a monarch body at the peak of the absolute saint realm. However, she did not have the slightest advantage among these geniuses. There were at least 20 or 30 people who were not weaker than her. This was not all the geniuses in the land of myriad demons. It was only half of them. There were so many powerful geniuses who had reached the peak of the absolute saint realm. It was shocking. However, in the past few years, after the cultivation in the Origin Mountain Sacred Courtyard, the competition, and the battle with the evil god tribe, many people's cultivation base had increased. Chapter 2045. The competition continued. Among them, 2 young men caught Lu Ming's attention. Because these 2 people were exceptionally powerful. They were 2 Elysian children. Children of the void, children of death. Lu Ming whispered. One of the 2 Elysian children controlled the law of nothingness, which was also one of the 10 strongest laws. It was extremely terrifying and could turn everything into nothingness. The other person actually controlled the law of death, just like Deathblade. Today was indeed a golden era. In the past, it was already very impressive for a Elysian child to appear. But now, Elysian children were appearing frequently. Even the same law had different people who had successfully cultivated it. This was only the land of Yuan Mountain and the land of infinite demons. One had to know that the Yuan realm had 10 lands. It was conceivable that there would be more than one Elysian child. It was conceivable that if Deathblade encountered this person, a great battle would probably break out. In addition to these 2 people, Kang Yang's strength was indeed very strong. He was invincible and was a popular candidate for the top 3. After a few days of fierce battles, all the rankings were out. Luo Xian and Yu Ning were both ranked 22nd. They didn't even squeeze into the top 20. As for Ji Tian, he had cultivated the law of light and was indeed powerful. He had surged all the way to the top 10 and was ranked 6th. After all, there were very few people who could cultivate the law of light in the monarch body. And Kang Yang, after a series of battles, finally defeated his competitors and obtained 3rd place. The 1st and 2nd place were naturally the 2 Elysian children. The 2 Elysian children's cultivation had reached the great circle of the Absolute Saint realm and were very close to the Quasi-Emperor realm. Moreover, they had cultivated the law of light. Their combat strength was too strong. The most exciting battle was the battle between the 2 Elysian children, which pushed the atmosphere to the peak. The law of nothingness and the law of death collided. These 2 laws were extremely overbearing. The 2's cultivation was also similar. The battle took 1,000 moves to determine the winner. In the end, the child of death narrowly won because of his mastery of the law of light. He was very close to the Quasi-Emperor realm. Amazing, amazing. Is this the battle strength of the Elysian children? It's really terrifying. Luo Xian blinked her big eyes in amazement. The Elysian child is indeed powerful. Below the martial emperor realm, ordinary martial artists are no match for the Elysian child. No matter how strong they are, it's useless. Yu Ning also sighed and glanced at Lu Ming intentionally or unintentionally. This meant that if one wasn't an Elysian child, no matter how strong one was, they wouldn't be a match for an Elysian child. Lu Ming smiled faintly and sighed inwardly. If he made a move, he would definitely be able to enter the top 3. Although the 2 Elysian children were strong, he was not afraid. What a pity. Lu Ming sighed, picked up a cup of wine, and drank it in one gulp. Yu Ning thought that Lu Ming had realized the difference between him and the Elysian child, which was why he was acting like this. She sneered. Those ranked in the top 3 can make a request to me. Come forward. At this moment, the ancient great emperor's voice sounded. The 2 Elysian children and Kang Yang stepped forward. At this moment, Kang Yang was extremely excited. If he made a request to the great emperor, he had to make sure that this request was of the greatest value to him, the most beneficial value to him. Should I ask for an ancient scripture or take the opportunity to become the great emperor's disciple? Kang Yang's mind spun rapidly, and his body trembled with excitement. Ha ha ha, since it's so lively today, I'll join in the fun. At this moment, a loud laugh resounded through the sky. Rumble, 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 rumble. The sky rumbled as if a huge monster was about to break through the void. Many experts' faces darkened as they looked at the void in the distance. Rip! In the next moment, the void cracked open, and an incomparably huge battleship sailed out of the dark void. The battleship was 10,000 meters long, and it was pitch black. It gave off a terrifying pressure. That's the Undying Demon Kingdom's undying battleship, someone exclaimed. Many people were shocked. The Undying Demon Kingdom was another super demon kingdom that was as famous as the ancient demon kingdom. Two tigers could not live on one mountain. The two super demon kingdoms were naturally hostile, and there would often be conflicts and wars. The undying battleship of the Undying Demon Kingdom had broken through the void and arrived. A group of people stood on the deck of the battleship. The person in the lead was a middle-aged burly man. He was wearing a long robe and had a domineering aura. Undying, what are you doing here? The ancient great emperor looked at the burly man and said coldly. Many people were shocked. In the Undying Demon Kingdom, only one person dared to use this title, and that was the ruler of the Undying Demon Kingdom, the Undying Emperor. Just like the ancient great emperor, every ruler of the Undying Demon Kingdom used the title of Undying Emperor. Ha, ancient immortal, you've finally survived the calamity. Of course I'm here to congratulate you. Why? Don't you welcome me? The Undying Emperor laughed. You're a guest. Come and sit down, the ancient great emperor said, and then ordered people to prepare seats. Let's go. The Undying Emperor said. Many people followed him and jumped down from the battleship. Those who followed the Undying Emperor were experts of the older generation, and there were also experts of the younger generation. The Undying Emperor glanced around, and his gaze fell on the young sky prides on the battle stage. At this moment, the top 30 sky prides were still standing on the battle stage. The top 3 could make a request to the ancient great emperor. The top 10 would be rewarded handsomely, and the top 30 would also be rewarded. That was why they were waiting there. The ancient demon kingdom is indeed full of geniuses. The sky prides of my Undying Demon Kingdom are also tempted. They want to spar with the sky prides of the ancient demon kingdom. Ancient immortal, what do you think? The Undying Emperor laughed. They are here. Many people felt their hearts trembling. Indeed, the people from the Undying Devil Empire didn't come here with good intentions. They wouldn't be here just to congratulate the ancient emperor. All right, I have the same idea. Let the two sky prides spar. It's good for them too, the ancient great emperor said. He could not refuse. Otherwise, people would think that the ancient demon kingdom was afraid of the Undying Demon Kingdom. All right, haha. The Undying Emperor laughed. He then looked at the young men behind him and said, have fun with the sky prides of the ancient demon kingdom. Remember, don't embarrass me. Yes, great emperor. The sky prides cupped their fists. I'll go first. Then, a young man from the Undying Demon Kingdom leaped onto the battle stage. He looked arrogant as he scanned the sky prides of the ancient demon kingdom and said, my name is Yuan Tuor. I have the king body. I've just reached the great circle of the Saint Realm. Who wants to spar with me? The sky prides of the ancient demon kingdom fell silent. Many of them looked around, but no one stepped forward. The Undying Demon Kingdom did not have good intentions. Their sky prides would not be weak. They did not know how strong their opponent was, so they did not dare to act rashly. If they lost, it would be embarrassing. Chapter 2046. What? You don't dare to fight me? Yuan Tuor sneered. Let me fight you. Someone shouted and stepped out. It was Luo Xian. What a beautiful woman. Haha, don't worry. I'm a person who has tender feelings for the fairer sex. I'll be merciful later. Yuan Tuor laughed. Shameless boasting. Luo Xian said coldly. She was unhappy with Yuan Tuor. The two of them stood facing each other, and their auras spread out. The geniuses in the fighting ring flew down and stood outside the fighting ring. Pretty lady, I'm ranked 25 in the Immortal Demon Nation. I wonder what your rank is in the Ancient Demon Nation? Yuan Tuor laughed. 22. Luo Xian replied coldly. 22. Haha, I can defeat you. Yuan Tuor laughed, and his aura became stronger. He then rushed toward Luo Xian. Judgment. Luo Xian said softly and used her judgment law to fight against Yuan Tuor. Boom. There was a loud explosion, and the two of them were forced back. They were evenly matched. Yuan Tuo's face turned serious, and he charged toward Luo Xian. Luo Xian fought back. The two of them fought fiercely. Yuan Tuo was strong. He had a king body, and he was not weaker than Luo Xian. The two of them exchanged dozens of blows, but they were still evenly matched. However, the faces of many people from the ancient devil nation turned grim. Yuan Tuo said that he was only ranked 25 in the immortal demon nation, while Luo Xian was ranked 22. If they were evenly matched, wouldn't it mean that the ancient demon nation was weaker? Boom. Boom. In the fighting ring, the two of them exchanged dozens of blows, but they were still evenly matched. At this moment, Yuan Tuo's eyes turned cold. He was the first one to fight, and a draw was not the result he wanted. Swoosh. Swoosh. Yuan Tuo suddenly changed his moves. His claws were like lightning, and he grabbed at Luo Xian's chest and other private areas. Luo Xian's face turned ugly. She was flustered, and she was at a disadvantage. Despicable. How dare you use such a despicable method? Someone from the ancient demon nation shouted. What a joke. In a battle of life and death, any method can be used. If you don't know this, how can you cultivate the demon nation? Someone from the immortal demon nation sneered, and the people from the ancient demon nation were unhappy. Bang! Luo Xian was at a disadvantage. Finally, he was no match for his opponent. After receiving a blow from his opponent, he was forced to retreat as blood spilled from his mouth. Whoosh! Yuan Tuo continued his frenzied attacks. Luo Xian was injured and was at a complete disadvantage. A beauty like jade, let me have a taste of a beauty's touch. Yuan Tuo sneered coldly as he approached Luo Xian and secretly transmitted his voice to him. Luo Xian gritted his teeth in anger, but he was indeed no match for his opponent. After a few moves, he was sent flying again. Luo Xian gritted his teeth and rushed down the fighting ring. She understood that she had already lost this battle. If she continued to fight, she would only be humiliated by her opponent. Where are you going? Yuan Tuo's figure was extremely fast. He quickly approached Luo Xian and blasted a palm towards Luo Xian. Luo Xian could not avoid this attack. In his seat, Lu Ming had been paying close attention to the situation on the fighting stage. At this moment, his eyes turned cold, and his body shot out explosively. Even from a distance, he blasted out a palm strike. A palm print formed and blasted towards Yuan Tuo. Those above Martial Emperor would not be able to make a move. However, as a member of the younger generation, he could. Yuan Tuo's expression changed. He blasted out a blow with all his might and collided with Lu Ming's palm print. Then, his body shook violently, and he could not help but take a few steps back. Whoosh! Lu Ming rushed forward, grabbed Luo Xian's slender waist, and returned to the fighting ring. Boy, you interfered in our battle. Are you trying to break the rules? Yuan Tuo said with a gloomy face. Luo Xian's body has already flown out of the fighting ring, which is equivalent to admitting defeat. If you continue to attack, you are the one who broke the rules first. Lu Ming said lightly. Luo Xian's body had indeed flown out of the fighting ring. Once her body flew out of the fighting ring, it was equivalent to admitting defeat. Since Yuan Tuo was still attacking, Lu Ming could naturally help. Humph, boy, you want to be the hero who saves the beauty. I'd like to see what you're capable of. A wisp of killing intent flashed in Yuan Tuo's eyes. His powerful aura locked onto Lu Ming. Lu Ming let go of Luo Xian and was about to attack. However, at this moment, a voice sounded. Lu Ming, what are you doing? This has nothing to do with you. Get out of the fighting ring. Kang Yang landed on the fighting ring and looked coldly at Lu Ming. He scolded, since when is it your turn to interfere with someone who isn't even qualified to participate in the battle? Of course, we will be the ones to fight with the geniuses of the immortal devil kingdom. Get out. Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly. Finally, he sneered, oh, I'll leave it to you. Luo Xian, let's go. Lu Ming and Luo Xian moved and returned to their seats. Do you want to continue the battle? Kang Yang looked at Yuan Tuo. What's your ranking in the ancient devil kingdom? Yuan Tuo asked. Third. Kang Yang replied arrogantly, revealing a hint of pride. You want to fight me, who is ranked 25th in the Immortal Devil Kingdom? Yuan Tuo revealed a mocking expression. If you want to fight, I will send someone else to fight with you, Kang Yang said. He used the word send as if everyone had to listen to his orders. I won one battle. I won't fight. Yuan Tuo smiled and left the fighting ring. Then, another young man from the Immortal Devil Kingdom appeared. I'm Ao Xian, ranked 15th in the Immortal Devil Kingdom. Who wants to fight me? Ao Xian's voice rang out. I'll fight you. A young man from the Ancient Devil Kingdom stepped onto the fighting ring. He was also ranked 15th in the Ancient Devil Kingdom. The battle broke out, but the result made the people from the Ancient Devil Kingdom pale. In just a few dozen moves, the genius from the Ancient Devil Kingdom was defeated. They were both ranked 15th, but the genius from the Ancient Devil Kingdom was no match for Ao Xian. Didn't this mean that the Ancient Devil Kingdom was inferior to Ao Xian? Who wants to fight me? After Ao Xian won, he did not retreat. He wanted to continue the battle. Then, the genius from the Ancient Devil Kingdom who was ranked 13th went up to fight Ao Xian. The two of them exchanged a few hundred moves, but the result was still Ao Xian coming out on top. Then, the sparring continued. However, the genius from the Ancient Devil Kingdom was at a disadvantage. The two countries were ranked the same. In fact, the geniuses from the Ancient Devil Kingdom who were ranked slightly higher were no match for the geniuses from the Immortal Devil Kingdom. Only those who were ranked 3 or even 4 places higher than the geniuses from the Ancient Devil Kingdom could fight or even defeat them. A day later, the genius from the Ancient Devil Kingdom who was ranked 6th defeated the genius from the Ancient Devil Kingdom who was ranked 4th. Swoosh. Then, another young man from the Immortal Devil Kingdom stepped onto the fighting ring. This person was ranked 4th in the Immortal Devil Kingdom. I heard that the top 3 geniuses from the Ancient Devil Kingdom are all incredible geniuses. Who is ranked 3rd? Come out and fight, this person said. Kang Yang stepped out with a pale face. Boom. The two of them started the fight, and an intense battle broke out. Chapter 2047. That's the law of 10,000 magic. Someone exclaimed as they recognized the law. The law of 10,000 magic was also the law of kings, and it was extremely terrifying. It was most suitable for demonic cultivators. Once the law of 10,000 magic was used, it was as if it could summon the will of an ancient demon and attack the enemy with it. It was very terrifying. Although their cultivation levels were similar, Kang Yang was at a disadvantage as soon as they started fighting. He roared and tried his best to fight with his opponent, but after dozens of moves, he was still no match for him. He was sent flying out of the fighting ring and vomited blood. He was defeated after dozens of moves, and his opponent was only ranked 4th in the Undying Demonic Kingdom. Didn't that mean that there were 3 more geniuses who were stronger than him? Could it be that his opponent had 3 sons of heaven? Impossible. I've always heard that the Undying Demonic Kingdom only has 2 sons of heaven. How is that possible? This person cultivates the law of 10,000 magic and has the light of the law. His combat strength is amazing. Other than the sons of heaven, who else is stronger than him? Everyone was talking about it. The experts of the ancient demonic kingdom had ugly looks on their faces. The ancient great emperor's face was ugly as well. Today was the day to celebrate his passing of the tribulation, but the undying demonic kingdom had come and challenged him with a younger generation. This was equivalent to slapping his face. However, the ancient demonic kingdom was still at a disadvantage. Whoosh. At this time, another figure rushed into the fighting ring. The Son of the Void. Many people were shocked. It was the Son of the Void of the ancient demonic kingdom, who was ranked 2nd. The Son of the Void stepped toward the expert of the undying demonic kingdom. His powerful aura made his opponent's face extremely serious. Your opponent is me. At this time, a young man from the undying demonic kingdom also rushed into the fighting ring, and his aura rushed toward the Son of the Void. Boom. The Son of the Void's figure was blocked. It's the law of void again. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly narrowed. The genius of the undying demonic kingdom also mastered the law of void, which was the same as the son of the void of the ancient demonic kingdom. Two sons of the void. In the land of myriad devils, there are two sons of the void. Two super devil nations each have one. These two are fated rivals. When they first rose to prominence, they often fought each other. Almost every year, they would fight. Even now, it's difficult to determine a victor. Luo Xian's voice sounded in Lu Ming's ears as he explained to Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded. Different people grasping the same ultimate law. They were indeed fated rivals. Everyone wanted to be the strongest. Only by stepping on their opponents could they truly climb to the top. This was much more meaningful than defeating the other Elysian children. Thus, if two Elysian children of the same level were to meet, a battle would definitely erupt. Unless the difference in cultivation level between the two sides was too great. If that was the case, there would be no point in fighting. Boom. The two fated opponents understood each other too well. Without any superfluous words, they started fighting. The terrifying law of nothingness continued to collide. It was as if everything was about to turn into nothingness. At the same time, the son of death, who was ranked first in the ancient devil nation, soared through the air, surrounded by the law of death. His gaze landed on a genius from the undying devil nation. Whoosh! That genius also soared into the sky and stood opposite the son of death. A terrifying aura burst out from his body, and a mysterious law burst out at the same time. It's the law of primordial chaos. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He finally saw a new law of primordial chaos. Among the 10 ultimate laws, the law of primordial chaos was the most similar to the law of primordial chaos. He still had 3 strands of primordial chaos in his hands. The two Elysian children stood opposite each other. Their auras clashed, forming a terrifying storm. The two of us have fought more than once. It's hard to determine the winner, the son of primordial chaos said. As the top genius of the land of myriad devils, they naturally knew each other. Moreover, they had fought more than once. You don't have the confidence to defeat me. It's meaningless for you to come here today, the son of death said coldly. Although the other geniuses from the undying devil nation had the upper hand, they couldn't defeat the Elysian children. Even if they had the upper hand before, it was meaningless. The ones fighting you today are not us, the son of primordial chaos said. What did he mean? Many people were shocked. If they weren't the ones fighting the son of death, who else could it be? Could it be that there were other Elysian children in the undying devil nation? I can tell you that in the past, I was ranked first in the undying devil nation. But now, I'm ranked second. The son of primordial chaos said. The people from the ancient devil nation were shocked. The son of primordial chaos was ranked second. Could it be that he had been defeated by the son of the void? However, the son of the void's cultivation had not reached the peak of the great circle of the absolute saint realm. Moreover, even if he had reached the peak of the great circle of the absolute saint realm, he might not be able to defeat the son of primordial chaos. Apart from the son of the void, the undying devil nation had someone stronger than the son of primordial chaos? Everyone couldn't calm down. Bang! Bang! At this time, a young man stepped out from the undying devil nation's side. Every step he took caused the void to rumble. He was an ordinary-looking young man. He wore a black short-sleeved shirt with his arms exposed. His arms were pitch black like demonic iron and seemed to be filled with explosive power. His eyes were pitch black, but they shone with ambition. Everyone from the ancient devil nation turned to look at this person. Could he be the #1 genius of the undying devil nation? Stronger than the son of primordial chaos? Impossible. His cultivation seems to be at the great circle of the absolute saint realm. How can he be stronger than the son of primordial chaos? That's right. It's said that the son of primordial chaos's cultivation has reached the peak of the great circle of the absolute saint realm. He's only a step away from entering the boundary emperor realm. He's on par with the son of death. Many people from the ancient devil nation discussed among themselves. They couldn't figure it out. Even the ancient great emperor and other experts looked at the young man curiously. Lu Ming also looked at the young man. He could vaguely feel that the young man gave him a strong pressure. It was as if the young man's body contained a terrifying power. He didn't feel this kind of pressure even when facing Heng Xinghe or the son of primordial chaos. "My name is Ancient Devil," the young man said calmly. His voice reverberated throughout the area. After he finished speaking, he looked at the Son of Death and said, "Today, your opponent is me." Boom. At this moment, the two Sons of the Void exchanged a blow and retreated simultaneously. The Son of the Void from the Ancient Devil Nation looked at Ancient Devil coldly. "You want to fight us? Then let's see what you're capable of." The Son of the Void from the Ancient Devil Nation was extremely domineering. With a wave of his hand, a ray of void light shot towards Ancient Devil. This void light was extremely terrifying. As long as it swept past, everything would turn into nothingness. Boom. Ancient Devil attacked. Chapter 2048. The Ancient Devil punched out. His fist was covered with a layer of black light. Boom. The punch seemed to tear the space apart as it collided with the law of nothingness. What was shocking was that when the punch landed on the law of nothingness shook violently as if it was about to be torn apart by the Ancient Devil's punch. What a terrifying attack. But why can't I feel the fluctuation of the law from him? I don't feel it either. What's going on? Some people were discussing in shock. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He was surprised. He did not feel the power of the law from the Ancient Devil either. He only felt the extremely condensed explosive power and attack that seemed to be able to tear apart all the laws. Could it be, some of the older generation figures seemed to have realized something and were shocked? Kill. The Son of the Void of the Ancient Devil Nation roared. A ray of light of nothingness spread out and enveloped his body. He exploded with all his strength. The law of nothingness and saint power combined to form a demonic blade. Blades of nothingness, turn into nothingness. The Son of the Void's eyes were filled with cold murderous intent. He waved his arms, and the blades of nothingness shot toward the Ancient Devil. As long as one was hit by the blades of nothingness, everything would turn into nothingness. Not even the most basic particles would be left behind. This was the terror of the law of nothingness. However, the Ancient Devil was not afraid at all. His body was covered in a layer of black demonic light. He kept punching with his fists. Dong, dong. His fists kept colliding with the blades of nothingness. A deafening roar sounded in the sky. In the blink of an eye, the two had exchanged more than a dozen blows. Bam, bam. After more than a dozen blows, the blades of nothingness were shattered by the Ancient Devil and exploded. The Ancient Devil stepped into the air. Demonic light shrouded him. He was extremely domineering. It was as if a real ancient demon god had awakened. Boom. The Ancient Devil launched a storm-like attack, suppressing the Son of the Void and forcing him to retreat. At the scene, the Ancient Devil Nation, whether it was the Emperor-level experts or the younger generation figures, were shocked beyond words. The Son of the Void was suppressed in just a dozen blows. This was something that even the Son of Death, who was ranked first, could not do. Furthermore, they did not sense any law fluctuations from the Ancient Devil's body. How can he be so terrifying? I can feel that his cultivation is at the peak of the absolute saint realm, but why is his battle prowess so terrifying? He's even stronger than the Elysian child. What law does he control? I can't sense the power of laws. Voices rang out one after another. Their voices were filled with disbelief. Could it be an archaic devil cultivator? It must be. It must be an immemorial demonic cultivator. Otherwise, they wouldn't have such terrifying power. I didn't expect that immemorial demonic cultivators would appear in the Yuan realm. At this moment, several white-haired old men spoke. Their voices were filled with shock and seriousness. Primordial devil cultivator? Many people were dumbfounded. This was the first time they had heard of this term. The history of cultivation in the heaven realm far exceeds that of the primordial realm. Legend has it that in the primordial age of the heaven realm, The cultivation system was completely different from the current cultivation system. At that time, the path of cultivation did not cultivate the power of laws. Instead, it focused more on one's own body. Those who succeeded in cultivation would have extremely terrifying offensive power. There was a saying that one's strength could break through all techniques. The primordial cultivation system was divided into many types. The primordial demonic cultivators of that time were the true demonic cultivators. Their demonic origin was shocking, and their offensive power was unparalleled. An old man muttered and said a bunch of things. Everyone was shocked. The primordial cultivation system. Could it be that the ancient devil cultivated the primordial cultivation system? The ancient devil should have cultivated the primordial demonic path. However, the primordial cultivation system is extremely difficult to cultivate. It's even more difficult to cultivate it successfully. Later on, after the rise of the law system, the primordial cultivation system slowly disappeared. There are very few in the heaven realm. I didn't expect the primordial cultivation system to appear in the Yuan realm. Beside Lu Ming and the others, Patriarch Luo sighed. He had also heard some rumors. Some old men sighed. In fact, the current demonic cultivators could no longer be considered true demonic cultivators. Luo Xian, Wu Shi, and the others were shocked. At this moment, the ancient devil had completely gained the upper hand. The son of the void kept retreating. In the end, the ancient devil punched through the law of nothingness. The law of nothingness was said to be able to turn everything into nothingness. However, it couldn't break the layer of demonic light on the ancient devil's body. Instead, the demonic light pierced through the law of nothingness. At the same time, the demonic light whistled and almost tore the son of the void's law light apart. The son of the void frantically retreated and spat out a mouthful of blood. "You've lost." The ancient devil stood in the air and said indifferently. He looked ordinary, but he had an invincible belief. The son of the void's face was pale. He had been defeated in just a few moves. Moreover, his opponent's cultivation wasn't higher than his. They were at the same level. This was a huge blow to him. Every son of the heavens had an invincible belief. They believed that they could defeat all strong opponents and reach the peak. The reason he had lost to the Son of Death was that the Son of Death had broken through to the great circle of the Saint realm longer than him. His mastery of the law was stronger than his. When he caught up in this aspect, he wouldn't lose. But now, he had lost to the ancient devil. The son of the void's expression changed. In the end, he shook his head and sighed. He landed on a seat and circulated his energy to heal his injuries. At this moment, the ancient devil looked at the Son of Death. "Do you still want to fight?" The ancient devil asked indifferently. The Son of Death of the ancient devil nation was called Ji Long. His expression was solemn. The ancient devil's meaning was obvious. Ji Long was only slightly stronger than the Son of the Void. However, the ancient devil could easily crush the Son of the Void. It was obvious who was stronger. Was there a need to fight again? "Let's fight." Ji Long was very straightforward. He stepped out and the light of death surrounded his body. "Let's decide this in one move. If I can't defeat you in one move, I'll admit defeat." Ji Long stared at the ancient devil. "Up to you." The ancient devil said indifferently, showing his strong confidence. Many people from the ancient devil nation were nervous. Ji Long was their last hope. If even Ji Long was defeated, then the ancient devil nation would definitely suffer a crushing defeat. The ancient great emperor's face was gloomy. He knew that the undying emperor was here to slap him in the face. Just when he had passed the great tribulation and the nation was celebrating, the undying emperor came to slap him in the face. On the battle stage, Ji Long and the ancient devil faced each other. Their auras were getting stronger and stronger. When it reached its peak, Ji Long made his move. Abyss of Death. Ji Long waved his hands. As he waved his hands, a huge abyss appeared out of thin air. This abyss was huge and as black as ink. It was filled with the aura of death, as if it wanted to bury everything under the abyss. Although Ji Long and the Undying Blade both controlled the law of death, the way they used it was very different. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.